right, let's answer some questions. First one comes from, I'm not familiar with this Twitter handle, Matt Casey9. I'm not sure who that is. Pray for Joe Burrow with a banged-up offensive line. Also, if you could come up with a dream fantasy team of Halloween candy, what would it be? P.S. Mike, nobody cares about your fantasy team. Thanks, Matt Casey. Joe Burrow, though. No left tackle, no center, no right tackle. I mean, he'll have one. It just won't be the starter. And no Joe Mixon. Against the Titans, Charean, Joe Burrow has been great. The only problem is, other than Mixon, no one around him is all that good.
Godspeed, Joe Burrow. This does not look like a good matchup for him. Mixon will miss his second consecutive game, and all those offensive linemen are out. And you could be playing an easier opponent than the Titans this week to have to face a team without all those guys. I mean, this is going to be a tough one for him, and we'll just see what type of quarterback he is. We know he can run. I think he's going to be running a lot this week.
And look, this is one of those where I want to say, Trevor Lawrence, are you paying attention? Are you watching closely? Because Joe Burrow, and I know this makes people in Cincinnati upset, but the truth is he thought about making a power play and not playing for the Bengals. And he's been spectacular, but look at what's around him. And they're eventually going to get the guy killed with, even when the starters do play, he gets banged around. And I do worry about Joe Burrow staying healthy all year long. Ham Spam, thank you, ma'am. Will Mike Zimmer get fired after losing to the Packers this weekend? Charean, let me just chime in on this first and foremost. They're not firing Mike Zimmer during the season. They're not firing Mike Zimmer after the season. But what's setting up here is next year, he's going to be the guy we put at the top of the list when it's time to put the hot seat coaches together.
No question. He'll be at the top of the list. They absolutely are keeping Mike Zimmer after this week. They're keeping Mike Zimmer after the season. The pressure is going to be on him going forward, frankly. And 7-9 in 2014, which was his first year there, was their worst record. I think they're going to have a worse record than that this year.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to string together consecutive playoff seasons. This every other year stuff's going to have to end. He's going to be hot seat in 2021 and even in 2022. If they fall apart again, he's not going to start hot seat if they make the playoffs. But I think he's going to be done after 2022. He needs 2 straight playoff seasons to save himself after this year if it continues the way that it has started so far. Red Zone out. Is Todd Bowles proof that some guys are just better at being an offensive or defensive coordinator than a head coach?
Can we really judge him for what he did with the Jets or judge anybody for what they did with the Jets? I mean, really, he had the 4 years with the Jets and he was 24-40, no playoff appearances. I would love to see him get another chance. I would almost guarantee that to comply with the Rooney Rule that some teams give him a chance to at least interview. But he's been a terrific defensive coordinator. There is no question about that. I do think there are questions about him as a head coach. I'd like to see him go somewhere else and see if he can be a head coach.
And he's not proof of it. Wade Phillips and Norv Turner are proof of it. It's already been proven. They are so good when they become coordinators again, they continue to be hired as head coaches, and it was lather, rinse, repeat multiple times. Here's what I'll say. If the Buccaneers win the Super Bowl, I think Bruce Arians walks away. Between Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles, one of those guys will be the head coach the next year. It'll be interesting to see who it is.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.